All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shemar Kakodash, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the Akim that push the word of sincerity and in truth. This is Brother Bars off from Great Millstone, Atlanta. I just have a quick lesson. We're going into basically not turning your back. Don't turn your back on this truth. Continue on. Keep your eyes forward, and keep marching for the victory. It's plenty of men, in these different camps. I'm pretty sure every brother has a testimony of a man that was around them for a number, whether it was months or years, and they basically jumped ship. The walk got too hard. Matthew the 13th chapter manifests before each and every one of you brothers' eyes. You're seeing that the cares of the world and the pleasures of the life choked the word out, and certain men became unfruitful, or offenses came. Men weren't deeply rooted upon proper foundational pieces. So when the winds of turmoil and hell caught up to them, they basically, blew with the wind. And this is just a motivation for brothers that's in this thing to continue and to stay down. Continue to work. We're fellow laborers. If it's hard for one brother, best believe it's hard for the brother next to you. It's hard for the camp in the neighboring state, and we all fighting for a common goal, which is the kingdom of heaven, so that we'll all be able to rest and have peace. But before we actually get to the victory, we still have to go through the hell, and we have to go through the hardships, the sufferings, the stress, the frustration, all the blood, sweat, and tears. All of these are the essentials to actually accomplishing the victory or the goal, which we all know what it is, the kingdom of heaven. So I'm going to start with this scripture in Revelations 3 and 11. Matter of fact, I'll start at verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. Right, and the word of the patience is this word. All right, because when you hear this word, you start to rejoice and understand that you're a Hebrew Israelite, and then you actually, find it in your spirit to teach it to other individuals, your family members, whether your mom, your dad, your brothers and your sisters. But then the truth essentially becomes bitter. You start to see that everyone around you doesn't even accept the true word of Yahweh Shema Shah, but they loathe it and they disdain it. And then you start to have to suffer with this word and retain it and reserve it and basically deal with men like unto thee, which is a small few. It's only a few good men in this thing around us where you could actually even truly express yourself. So when you're around others, you have to actually hold your tongue. And that's when the sweetness of this word becomes bitter. And you have to suffer because it's the word of the patience, And it says, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptations, which we all know the hour of temptations is also referred to as the time of Jacob's trouble. When the time of trouble, martial law, pestilence, outbreak, all kind of hell and turmoil is going to hit these different cities. The Lord said he'll reserve us. Why? Because we held the Lord down. All right. It speaks about in Psalms, if I'm not mistaken, 94 and 16, who shall stand up for me against the evildoers and the workers of iniquity? Since we standing up for the Lord against the workers of iniquity, when the workers of iniquity come against us, the Lord will keep us and he'll help us in the time of grief. It says, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Right, so everybody's spirit is going to be tried and tested. And majority of these people are worthless dross. So when the fire of temptations and hell starts to try them, what it's going to do? It's going to burn them alive. When these different troops throw these different individuals in these concentration camps, they interrogate them. They're going to break. They're going to fold like lawn chairs, man. Why? Because they don't have the spirit of the Lord dwelling within their vessels. But since we have the word of the patience, when the time of suffering comes, we believe through the spirit in Yahweh Shema Shah that the Lord will keep us through all hell. All right. And it starts now. Your walk of hell starts when you first sign up to this truth, pursuant to Sirach, the second chapter. My son, when thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for what? Temptations. Prepare the spiritual demon Satan to peg your mind for infirmities to skyrocket in your body. for individuals to hate you, to disdain you, for that cloud of darkness to dwell on top of you, and you walk unto the end, because it's that's the hell that you have to catch. That's the cross that you have to bear. But continuing on, it says, "Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown." So you got to hold fast this word so that nobody will actually have the opportunity to take your positioning, so to speak. You had the individuals with the talents, and by one of the individuals' lack of consistency, his naiveness of what he actually truly had, and his neglectfulness, his crown or his talents got taken. Because a talent is really a measurement. You had certain crowns in the Old Testament that were had the weight of a talent, so to speak. So they weighed a lot, and a crown is something that's the essence of glory, and our glory lies in this word. But as quick as we got this word is as quick as it could be taken away from us if you don't stay on top of your game. The point of this truth on the whole is to stay on top of your game. Don't let nobody take your crown. Stay training, stay fighting, stay pushing, praying, fasting, getting up with brothers, purging. All these are the essentials, because those spirits will constantly come back. The spiritual demon Satan constantly tries and tests your faith. He tests you through your lusts, your earthly desires, because we all do have earthly desires, but it's about pushing them down and pushing the spirit forward. Verse 12, "Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my power, and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out from the Most High, and I will write upon him my new name." So the Lord said, if you overcome in this rat race, that the Lord said He'll make you a pillar in the temple of the power. A pillar is a structure that actually establishes and it helps keep up the support of the temple. And where's the temple of the Lord starting? With the 144,000. He said that He dwells in the tabernacle of men. So in the kingdom of heaven, which will be New Jerusalem, you'll have the 144,000. And if you hold it down and do that which is required, you'll be a part of that number. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the scriptures. That's the promise. The Lord said that He gave the word, and He has to make it good. All right. He's not a man that He shall lie. So knowing these things are right around the corner, this isn't the time to look back. That's why the scripture says, remember Lot's wife. Don't look back at your old life. Don't think of the things that you could have possibly had if you were to continue on in your previous career, or if you had more time, your Saturdays. Nah, all those things are of the past, man. Let the past dwell with the past and keep your eyes towards the future, which is the kingdom of heaven. All right. So this is Hebrews 10, and I'll start at 37. "For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry." Right, and this is just a little while of suffering. The years that brothers have been suffering, that's only a couple seconds in the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shah. Scripture says a day with the Lord is 1,000 years. So even the hell that we've been catching as a nation has been less than a day. It's been basically a half a day, 400 plus years of punishment. If you want to add up Greece and Rome, it's a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, it's still a light punishment. That's why the scriptures speak about the sufferings of this present time is not to be compared to the glory that we shall receive. So even though you're catching a level of suffering right now in the flesh, always remember that it's something greater that awaits. So you have to be goal set. You have to keep your goals in mind and push for those goals. Every day should be a step forward, progressively getting better. Don't turn to the left. Don't turn to the right. Don't backstep. Make lateral movements. Don't do any of those things. Progress forward, because we see what's ahead of us, which is the kingdom. All right, and it's going to be a glorious kingdom, but it's going to only be reserved for those that fight for it, pursuing the 2 Esdras 8:1. All right, the Lord said that he made this world for many, but the kingdom to come for few. Verse 38, now the just shall live by faith, but if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. Right, so we believe our souls will be saved. The first soul that we believe, which is the saving, is us. All right, yourself individually. That's why you have to be self-motivated and you have to believe in yourself. All right, and this is under the word draw back. It goes back to the Greek word hypostello, which is to withdraw of a timid person, to be unwilling to utter from fear, of those who from timidity hesitate to avow what they believe. And when you come into this truth, you make that vow and you come into this truth solely off of belief. But a lot of men, they hesitate and they turn timid, and then they do what? They draw back or withdraw themselves, go AWOL in the midst of the battle, to shrink from declaring. All right, a lot of men have shrunk from declaring the word of Yahweh Shema Shah because of the pleasures and the cares of the world. They stopped making clear the word of Yahweh Shema Shah, publishing it and putting it out on the highways and byways because of what? Lack of faith. That's why you have to pray for more faith day by day. Every day your faith should be growing, as well as everything else, your knowledge, your understanding, your wisdom, your spiritual strength, so that you don't do what? You don't draw back unto perdition, and so that your soul will be saved by what? All according to your level and your measure of faith, your belief. And I'm going to end it with this scripture, Mark 13 and 16. I'm going to hit the point. And let him that is in the field not turn back again for to take up his garment. So the scripture says, if you are in the field, don't turn back. And that was what Yahweh Shah was telling about the abomination that maketh desolate during that time, which was the Romans that came in and sacked Jerusalem during 70 AD. And the Lord told them, when you actually fled, to don't turn back. So if the Lord told us on a physical level, don't turn back for your garments, your goods, your jewelry, any of these materialistic things, how much more in the spirit of things? All right, because the material world is going to dissolve. The scriptures speak about the fashion of this world fadeth away. To hell with a nigga in a nice Challenger. All right, to hell with a black woman in her nice Benz, man. To hell with a $300,000 house. All these things are going to vanquish. All these things are going to be burned asunder. But the only thing that is going to remain is going to stand tall at the end of the day, and is going to rise from the ashes, is the men of Yahweh Shema Shai. It tells you that in Psalms the 91st chapter, when all this hell comes, that the men of the Lord are going to have that golden ticket to deliverance. So, that's all I have for you, Akim. Hopefully, you brothers was edified. I'm going to end it by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shema Shai by Shimra Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom.